Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Dragon Ball Nation. Today we're going to be taking a look at a power level list sent by a subscriber named MMPR Mystery. I'll leave a link to his channel down below, but he wanted me to look at this list and I asked if I could do it for a video, and he said yes. So let's go ahead and take a look at this list here. Very simplistic in terms of what characters it covers, but it does go through all of Dragon Ball Z. Major key points, not really any side characters like, let's say, Killa, Pintar, those really minor characters that really didn't mean a whole lot. So we're going to start off with the Raditz Saga or early Saiyan Saga, whatever you want to call it. The start of Dragon Ball Z. Very simple stuff on here. I think these are very fun videos and hopefully you guys enjoy them. Farmer is power level 5, perfectly fine, completely accurate. Raditz is a 12 to 1500. The thing is we don't really know what Raditz is exactly. We don't have a core number in the actual series, but 12 to 1500 is the fan accepted power level that I get to see thrown around. We also have Piccolo, heavy clothes here. They're 320, it's accurate. Goku 330, it's good. A lot of these you're gonna see, I actually looked over the list very briefly. You're going to hear me say these look good because a lot of these do look good. It's not like the last power level list I did where the power levels were terrible. And by golly, someone sent me another one of those because those are fun to talk about. These are very good power levels this guy has. And it is simplistic, but it is accurate and it's good estimates on these power levels. Piccolo without heavy clothes, 400. Goku without heavy clothes, 410. Looks good. Goku's Kamehameha was a 950 if I am correct. I don't know why it's like 950 to 1050. I don't remember actually increasing. I mean it might have, I don't quite remember off the top of my head, but that does look about accurate. Piccolo's special beam cannon looks good. Gohan 720 when Raditz did measure him in the pod. And these are a lot better when guys like I like taking a look at these power levels, guys. But when you get guys like Vegito 1089 and Seth the Program who actually do the animated things and have the power levels there, that's really cool. This is just me looking at power levels sent in and giving my analysis on them. And I think it's a different beast altogether, but I do respect the work that the people in the community do that do those actual power level listings. Gohan and Rage 1370 to 1450. Raditz said this. It's 1370 going from the Funimation dub. Well, going by the manga, I think it was closer to 1300, and I'm pretty sure he said it wasn't. He didn't say anything about it going up in the manga, so. But I guess that's depending on if you're looking at the anime or the manga for this list. Piccolo's special beam cannon, second try, 1440. It's good. So it's enough. The thing is, if his 1440 was enough to kill him, then his power level probably wasn't 1500, right? So, I mean, that's just going off of what I would think. Pre-Saiyan Saga, we have Master Roshi 139 when Bulma was measuring everyone out. 206 for Krillin, 0.001 for Turtle, just for the lulz. TN 210/250, Chaozu 80, 120. That's just a guess though because he wasn't really measured. These all look good. Yamcha 150 to 180. That looks about right to me. These are the Scarface and Shorty. If I remember, those are the Saiyan characters from the little filler part where they're training up in the lookout. 2020. I mean, these are really just guesses, and he kind of lists like right here, pure speculation, guys. So these I can, you could say whatever they are. They are pure speculation. You could even put them closer to Raditz. It doesn't matter as long as they're somewhere in like the 1000 region. I think that would be acceptable. But in the end, these guys don't really matter too much. Okay, so here we have the Saiyan Saga. The start of it when the Cybermen and all that stuff come in. So, Cybermen 1100 to 1300. I mean, the thing is, if I remember in the manga, it's when the Cyberman gets killed by Tien, the first one, he says that Cyberman's power was over 1200. No way he killed him. So I would have said 1200 to 1300, not 1100, but I mean, I guess it's a negligible difference there, but I'd still say 1200 would have been more accurate for that one. Yamcha 1200 1400. Again, I'd put him, I guess in the sense that you're putting him at 1100, 1200 would be fair, but You know, if the Cyberman actually is over 1200, Yamcha should be like over 1300 or more, but I'd say he's even at 1400. Krillin is at 1550, which is weird because I'm guessing you mean when Krillin powers up and blasts the Cybermen. That's all I could really think with that scatter comment, because when he was read initially, it was like 1080 something or 1090 something, somewhere around that range. Gohan was just under 1000 and Piccolo was like 1200 before any of them even power up, really, essentially. So Tien 1700, you could even put him higher than that because he did wipe out that Cyberman fairly easy. You could put him honestly even closer to a 2000. Chaozu, we have no idea, so 500, 700. Like he says, wild guess here. It is a complete wild guess because we have absolutely no idea. There's no example of any evidence to show where his power would lie. Gohan 981, that looks about right. That's probably the number I was thinking of again. Piccolo 2500. I don't know if he would be quite that high, but that could be about the same. I don't know if he'd be that close to suppress Nappa though at 3000 that you have him here. Nappa at a 3000 though. Suppressed is probably about a good range, maybe 3500. The thing is, how strong do we think King Kai is? I don't think King Kai is even listed here. King Kai is probably somewhere around the realm of 2500 maybe. But the thing is when King Kai was talking about the Saiyans coming to Earth, he says he's talking about both of them. He says they're even stronger than me. Both of them, so Nappa included. So King Kai's got to be lower than this, but he's not listed here, so I'm just putting that out there, giving my own scaling in there. Nappa powered up 4,000. That's, you know, it's decent. A lot of people think Nappa was like 7,000, 8,000. I don't know why. It's probably because Goku used Kaioken on him. But Goku didn't need Kaioken to beat Nappa. Like, he just did it so he would get put down quick. That was the thing. So he couldn't kill Gohan and stuff. So that's the reason for that. Gohan and Rage 2700. I think that could be fair. You can give him any number, really. It's close enough to be close to Nappa, right? Or close-ish to Nappa. Gohan, Angry Masenko, again, bringing it up even more. Goku on arrival, 5,000. That looks good. Goku powered up here. Goku full power, 8,000 to 8,500. Because they said over 8,000 is what they said in the manga, so it would be, you know, over that number. So you can give him 8,500, that's fine. And yeah, over 9,000 for the anime. Let me continue my rambling with Nappa full power 5,500. I think that's a fair number. A lot of people like to put Nappa higher. I think that's fair. Maybe you could put him a little higher because Goku again did use Kaioken to get that a little bit extra power to paralyze Nappa, really. So Goku going to 1200 with Kaioken. That's a fair number there for Kaioken. So you could say Nappa was a little bit stronger than that, but the thing is, it's like, how close to Goku at an 8,000 would he have to be for Goku to have to be pushed to go Kaioken, right? To put him out quick. It's a tough one. I can see maybe where people go for Nappa closer to like a 6,500, but I think maybe 6,000 is probably a good spot for Nappa. Vegeta 1,800, completely accurate. Reason being is when Kui's on Namek, he says, you know, oh, we were rivals, and his power level is an 18,000. So him being rival, you know, pretty much equal with Kui, and Kui's an 18,000 on Namek. So that's why Vegeta would be 18,000. Most of you guys know all these numbers. You guys really want to see the Buu Saga and Cell Sagas where it gets interesting. Goku Kaioken times 2, times 3, times 4. That's all good. Vegeta Ozaru 180,000. It's 10 times multiplier of 18,000, which is what the grade 8 form is. It's a multiplier of 10. The thing is it really multiplying his 18,000? Because remember, he was very weakened. He was definitely weakened by a lot when he went grade 8. So you could definitely say it was a lower number than that, but I'm not going to give you a terrible score for saying it's 180,000 because maybe his weakened body was not hindered by the transformation, I suppose. Or the transformation was not hindered by his weakened body. And then Yajirobe, 150 to 300. Pretty big gap there, but I mean, Yajirobe's a lot stronger than people think, so I think anywhere in that range of numbers is probably pretty good, for sure. I think 150, maybe even 200, but Yajirobe's really strong, so don't diss Yajirobe, guys. Namek Saga, Vegeta suppressed, sure. You can give him that number. Kui, again, 18,000 to 1850. Krillin Gohan here, 1800 to 1850. That looks about right. Vegeta full power here from the Namek Saga after his Zenkai in the Saiyan Saga is at 24,000. That's about accurate. That's what was stated, but it also was stated that it had risen to what Dodoria had said when Vegeta was powering up to kill Kui. He said that it had risen to more than 2,400 or 24,000, so it's above that, but that's still a good number to obviously give him. Dodoria down here, 20,000, 21,000. I'd say 20,000's probably a good place to put him, because it is obviously weaker than Vegeta. Zarbon, beautiful princess form, 23,000's about what I would say, close enough to Vegeta. And then his monster form being 3,250 or 32,500. I would say that it would have been closer to 30,000. I would have actually put it at 30,000 just because of, even though he did obviously very easily defeat Vegeta in his first bout, when Vegeta did come back with the Zenkai, he did put up a decent fight, but Vegeta still beat him pretty fairly easily. But I would say Zarbon was a 30,000 and Vegeta was like a 32, 33,000. Something like that. That's just my personal guess, but the thing about the Namek and Frieza Saga is the power levels they're so close, but at the same time, even though the gaps are very close, the differences in terms of how people perform against each other is really bad. Because again, even going off of this, it's a 2,500 power difference with these two right here, right? So Vegeta still melted him pretty easily. So you could just see that little of a gap, and again with Dodoria up here, Vegeta was only like 3,000 to 4,000 stronger than him, and he had absolutely no problem beating Vegeta. So it's an interesting thing to look at, and numbers that are this close are kind of hard to calculate. Krillin and Gohan after Guru treatment, 15,000, 20,000. That looks about right to me. Guldo, 5,000. We never got a read on him, so you could give him really almost anything, but 5,000, I think, I know you're saying you're being generous, but I think that's actually a pretty decent level to put him at. I would say that's pretty fair. 5,000's fair. Recoome at a 4,500 or 45,000. I don't know why I'm saying 4,500. I think it's just too late in the night. It's almost 3 a.m. Recoome at a 45,000, I think, is a fair place to put him, although I would have put him closer. A lot of people put the Ginyu Force to 42 to 45,000. I see you have Berter and Jace down here at a 50,000 as well. I would put them lower than that, but again, since all they really did was fight Goku and Vegeta, essentially, Vegeta went in to kill, Berter, Jace, and Recoome after his Zenkai, where he had gotten up to pretty much over 300,000 at least. It doesn't really matter where you put these guys. You can put them at 50,000. I think it's a fair area, but I would still put them under that, but over 40,000. 40 to 50. Krillin said that the Berter and Jace were around Recoome's level, so after Goku had knocked out Recoome. Goku suppressed 5,000. That is pretty sure that's what he was read as, so full power 90,000, that's accurate. 120 for Ginyu, that was stated by Jace to be Ginyu's max power. Kaioken times 2 Goku, 180,000, that's accurate. And I guess they don't really have, he doesn't really have the power levels for like a Goku switch with Ginyu's body, and I almost said for Vegeta as well, but I mean that didn't happen. But I guess we're going right to the Frieza Saga. Again, I said it's a very simple list, but it's fun to take a look at these. Frieza Saga, Nail, 42,000, 100% accurate. Frieza, first form, 530,000. I don't know if you're talking about... Well, the thing is, I would have liked it if you would put Nail versus Frieza, because Frieza was definitely heavily suppressed against Nail, and was heavily suppressed even before he fought Vegeta. He definitely powered up when Vegeta was grappling with him. Not the transformation, essentially. I'm talking about actually powering up when he was grappling with Vegeta. And you have Vegeta, here's a 350,000. I've always thought Vegeta, when he grappled with Frieza, was much closer to over 400,000. Just based on how he did push Frieza to power up and to even transform. So I would think Vegeta would be a lot higher than 350,000. Although I've seen people that put him as low as 225,000, 250,000. So I would say that this is a decent number, but I would still go quite a bit higher than that. Frieza's second form, his power level risen to over 1 million. So you could do that. You could say 1.1 million, 1.2 million. That's probably fair. Piccolo Nail Fusion, 1.15 million, 150,000. These numbers are going to get really annoying to say, I think. That's a fair number, though. That's without, well, is that with or without weighted clothes? I guess it's not really put on here, but I would probably, without the weighted clothes, I'd probably put him higher than that, but that's just my own, that's my own theory. Gohan Rage Boost, 650,000. I mean, it can be any number, really, as long as it's super high, but close enough to really put a dent in. Frieza third form, 1.5 million. I think that's, the thing is, that's closer to where I would put Piccolo without his weighted clothes. I think that's too low for third form Frieza. I think he would be closer to a 2 million, honestly. I think that's where I would put him at. Closer to 2 million. That's what I would say. I think 1.5 is too low. Gohan Rage Masenko again. I think that it could be a bit higher than that, just given how I said again. This should be about stronger than Piccolo was. So give this a 1.6, 1.7 million, and say, let's say third form Frieza was a 2 million, and I think these two numbers would be good. Let's see here. Vegeta after another Zenkai. This is the one that was inflicted upon him when he requested it, so he could fight Frieza. 2.2 million. That is a very accurate number in terms of what I've heard in the fandom. 2.2. That's pretty accurate from what I've seen. That definitely falls in line with what I would say, and that would make it so he would still be stronger than third form Frieza, which I would damn well think so. I think there's actually dialogue that would suggest he could have beaten him. But again, even if Frieza was a 2 million, I think that this 2.2 million would still stand, to be quite honest. Frieza final form heavily suppressed, 2.75 million. I think that's fair, and I mean, you could say he's heavily suppressed. Goku 3 million, that is 100% accurate. Kaioken times 10, 30 million. You're using simple math here. Again, well, he didn't really label Frieza when he had his power set to fight Goku in his base, which I think has been set at around maybe 4 million. I could be wrong, but again, this is when the power levels start to get a lot more speculative, because after this, there's no more power levels. Frieza 50%, 60 million, that's fine. Goku Kaioken times 20, 60 million, good. Super Saiyan Goku 150 million. Final Form Frieza 120 million, 100% accurate on that. Future Trunks Saga, Mecha Frieza, 155 million, common sense. I mean, I don't think it's common sense, but I guess you could say, like, well, he thought he could beat Goku, who was a Super Saiyan. So I would still have said he's probably was a little bit lower than Goku, but even 145 million would have been fine. But the thing is, again, Frieza doesn't know, he doesn't read power levels, remember, so Frieza wouldn't have known exactly how strong Goku was, but he would have known he was pretty close, so I guess he could guesstimate or something. But I guess you could say this, I still would have put it maybe 140 million would have been fair. That's just my guess. King Cold, 135 million. People like to flip-flop on who's stronger, King Cold or Frieza. You're taking the safe route of saying that they're pretty much close. But I've done videos with Geekdom. I've done my own stuff talking about King Cold's powered, so go around and look for that stuff. And that's how you advertise videos, folks. Super Saiyan Trunks, 180 million. I think that's perfectly a perfectly good number, honestly. Goku Super Saiyan, 200 million. I think those are both 100% good numbers. Rest of the characters are either irrelevant or feeless for me to put power levels, as Way says. So I think that's fair. You know, Vegeta, Piccolo down there. It's kind of hard to calculate their numbers. These are all the numbers that really matter, I guess. Android plus Cell Saga. Goku, this is all post-training. Goku Super Saiyan, 300 million. I'd say that's a very good number for him. Android 19 base without the energy absorption, 190 million is probably a good safe bet. After energy absorption, 175 million. I would probably still say it's a bit lower than that just based on how Vegeta performed. Goku Heart Virus, down here, 180 million. Vegeta Super Saiyan, 305 million. That's putting him higher than Goku, which Piccolo did say that he's even stronger than Goku. But we're the fan base and, you know, everyone that follows the show and the manga, when Piccolo made that claim, we're still not sure if he was really counting the heart virus or not. We don't know if there was some pre-existing effect of the virus before Goku actually started fighting in 19. So I guess you could put Vegeta a little higher. It doesn't really matter because it is up in the air. But it's not impossible to believe Vegeta would have been a bit stronger, especially because Piccolo said it. Android 20, Dr. Gero, 200 million. I think that might be a little high, but it's fine. Stronger than Frieza, which is what really matters. Piccolo, 225 million. I think that's too high. I really do. I think that he would have been like 200 million or a little bit lower. And then Gero would have been like 170 million or something like that. That's just my gut feeling. There's no real, you know, way to tell. And I would have maybe dropped Android 19 up here down a bit. As for, again, like I said, with the energy absorption, I would have dropped them down a bit. But these are still pretty good numbers. There's nothing really offensive here for me. 18, so 400 million. I think that's good. Again, I would say just a dab lower. Not a whole lot. Just like 20 million knocked off of there. Android 17, he is a bit stronger. Remember, 18's power was suppressed when she was being made. So 17 is a bit stronger than 18, guys. Remember that. So these numbers are good, although I would have them both a bit lower, but still have the same difference in power. Let's move on to Trunks Super Saiyan after he comes back. 215 million. I think that's fair. I don't think I would put him below Piccolo, but that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm forgetting some dialogue. Who knows? This is all off the cuff. An off-the-cuff analysis. So, Android 16, 500,000. I think that's just a little bit too high. Not a lot. I'd still put him in the 400,000 range, but definitely the high 400,000 range, right? Imperfect Cell, first appearance, 415 million. I think that's too high. I think he's definitely a bit lower than that. Piccolo and Kame fused. I think that these guys are too close, to be honest. I think that these are too close. His number's good for Piccolo. Piccolo's good number. Cell's too strong. Drop Cell down. That's just my opinion. Cell's final appearance, 450,000. Give him another 10 million, and I'd say it's good. 10 to 20 million. And again, same thing for 16. Drop him down maybe 20 million. So Cell's like a 460 million, 470 million. Android 16 sitting at a 480 million. I think that's a fair number for them. But again, it's so close to what I would think they're at that I think these are good numbers. Semi-Perfect Cell, 860 million. That looks perfectly fine to me, to be honest. It really does. You can maybe drop them down a little bit, but it's so hard to tell that I think that's a perfectly fine number. Honestly, I think what you did is you just added Android 17 to Cell's power, so I guess you could do that. It's not really stated how the absorption works, but if it is just a power boost like that, then it's fine. But I think it's raised by a set amount. I mean, I think he still would have been that power if he absorbed 18 first. But it doesn't really matter. Then we have, where did I go with this stuff? I dropped my thing down here. Okay, we're back. I had my, I scrolled down, or scrolled up somehow, even though I was pushing down. Anyways, Super Vegeta down here, 950 million. That looks definitely good enough. I really wish you had Super Saiyan Vegeta listed here. That would have been interesting. because I think there's evidence to suggest that Vegeta actually could have beaten Semi-Perfect Cell even without going Super Vegeta. So you could even say Super Vegeta was higher than that. Again, maybe Semi-Perfect Cell's a little bit too high, right? Like I said. So Super Vegeta could be good. Maybe Semi-Perfect Cell's a little high. Again, it's hard to say. There was a line in the manga and the anime. 16 saying, wait, Vegeta's changed. He said it to 18 because 18 was saying there's no way Vegeta could have gotten so strong. And 16 saying, you know, wait, he's changed. And then when Vegeta's starting to transform to Super Vegeta, Trunks says he's powering up to this level already. Suggesting to me that, there's a burp. Suggesting to me that if Trunks was surprised, maybe there was a chance that at the very least, Vegeta was close to Cell as just a regular Super Saiyan. I mean, how big of a multiplier is the Ascended Super Saiyan, right? How big of a multiplier really is that, right? It doesn't double your power. It's not as strong as Super Saiyan 2. It's probably somewhere closer to a 1.5 multiplier, so I mean, it's hard to say, but I think that he could have been pretty close to Semi-Perfect Cell in just a Super Saiyan form. Perfect Cell 1.5 million. I've always kind of thought that Cell wasn't... When Cell initially went perfect, I always thought he was a bit weaker than how he was at the Cell games. I kind of figured he increased his power just by getting used to the form. That's just my own headcanon because of how he was saying Trunks was, you know, stronger than him in brute strength, but the speed advantage on Cell's power was just too great. He's got Gohan listed as a weaker power level, so I can, you know, I can take that, whatever. That's all fine. Goku mastered Super Saiyan 1.15 million. That looks about right. Gohan being listed as 1.25 million. You know, comparing Goku's powers to his own, he didn't think Goku was going all out. So it suggests that Gohan in his regular Super Saiyan is actually stronger than Goku's Super Saiyan. A lot of people think Goku could have beaten Cell also. But the thing about Cell, and I think that even in this power level list, the guy kind of missed it a little bit. Or missed exactly how much, or he was just, you know, giving a good solid number here. Cell being a 1.5 million, I think that Goku and Cell are too close. I think Cell should be a lot stronger than Goku. The reason being how much Cell was holding back against Goku when they fought, and how much Cell actually powered up without obviously buffing himself up, because he did do that. Not looking at that part where he buffs up though, how much he powered up against Gohan when Gohan transformed. Cell increased his power so much, and it shocked everyone there. They didn't know he had that much power hidden up. So you gotta think, if they were shocked that he didn't, and Goku was shocked that he had so much power hidden. Remember, when Goku powered up for Korin, Korin says it doesn't look like you have much of a chance, and Goku said that's kind of what I figured. So if Goku already knew he didn't really have a chance, and now he's seeing that Cell's even stronger than he thought, then there should be a bigger gap than what's listed here. That's just my honest opinion. Cell Jr., 1.3 million. You can say whatever for them. They're stronger than most of the Z fighters there, even though, you know, a lot of people say they were pretty much the same as Trunks and Vegeta. It's tough to say. We got Gohan Super Saiyan 2 here. Is a 2.5 million, which Super Saiyan 2 is a multiplier of 2 of Super Saiyan 1, so you're just multiplying, doing simple math for these numbers here, not counting the Cell Jr. obviously. So you're just multiplying by 2 with Gohan Super Saiyan 1. And then interestingly, they have Super Perfect Cell listed at 3 million, which is higher than Gohan. So they're going under the notion that Cell was stronger, which I tend to think so. I think that there's enough evidence to suggest that Cell was stronger. The reason Cell lost that clash, really the main reason, was that, well, Gohan obviously was weakened, but even if Gohan was at full power, Gohan was surprised that Cell, like, he was even stronger than he thought. After he blasted Vegeta, he was like, you know, oh, he's even stronger than I thought he was. So that tells me that Cell had powered up to just an exponential level that no one had even thought would have been possible. And not only that, in the Clash, I tend to think that Cell wasn't really trying all that much to push Gohan back. Granted, Gohan being at 50% strength, at least initially in that Clash, I think that definitely helped Cell toy around a bit. But the thing is, when Vegeta distracted him, Gohan then unleashed everything he had in his body. Everything. That's why you see, after he kills Cell, he's exhausted. He's powered down completely. That means he went beyond the limit of power he had in his body. That means he probably went beyond the 3 billion, beyond what Gohan already had. So I think in terms of initial powers, I think Cell was stronger. And that's my long answer. And then Vegeta, Furious, 1.8 million. Who really gives a shit? You can give him that number. Vegeta could have been a power level of 2. It wouldn't have mattered. He didn't do any damage to Cell. Didn't do any damage. Mr. Satan, 10. I think that's too low. I think Satan's closer to a 20 or 25. Videl, 25 to 30. Spopovich, again, you're going to have to give it more than Videl. Spopovich would be 35 to 40, if not maybe even 50. I mean, is it so unrealistic to think maybe Spopovich was as strong as Goku at the very beginning of Dragon Ball? I don't think that's completely unrealistic. But Junior, a.k.a. Piccolo, let's see, we got 1.6 billion. Now, was I saying million up here? If I said million up here, that's my mistake. I meant billion. My Junior is 1.6. Cell is listed at... Where's Cell? 1.5. So, that's fair. Putting Piccolo a little bit stronger than Perfect Cell, that's fair. That's what a lot of people say. He's around Perfect Cell's level. I think that's fine. Still weaker than Supreme Kai, which I think is a good number there. 1.8 billion. Hopefully I don't mess up and say million. Kibito, 800 million. And this is something that there's no real, in terms of feats, in terms of fighting evidence at least, there's no real way to say how strong Kibito is. But the thing is like, Kibito is way too strong here. That's just my opinion. And I have a few reasons. Number one, when he went to go pick up the Z-Sword, he couldn't do it at all, but Goku in his base could. And also, Goku in his base here is listed as a 30 million, which I think is about the right number. You could maybe put him a little bit higher. I'll go into Saiyan base forms in a little bit because some people will think that he's as strong as Frieza right now, and I'll go into that in a minute. Kibito here, though, 800 million. Again, Goku in his base could lift up the Z-Sword. Kibito could not. So, in my mind, there's no way Kibito's even close to Goku. So, Kibito's way too strong. That's just my opinion. I'd say Kibito's probably even weaker than Pui Pui. So, also, when they fused with the Potara earrings, if their base, if Supreme Kai's at 1.8 billion and Kibito's at 800 million, their Potara fusions should have been enough to fight Super Buu, right? Or Buu Tanks, or close to it at least, right? Because if Vegeta and Goku in their base fuse and make Vegito, even though they do get the little rival boost that the Elder Kai said, they still, in their base, wouldn't be anywhere near as strong as the power levels here for Kibito and Supreme Kai. Supreme Kai did say, I could definitely beat Buu now, that he went to go down to fight Buu, but I think he was either comparing it to Fat Buu or Super Buu. I don't know which. It's tough to say. But that's my little analysis there. Pui Pui, 15 million. You know, I think that's fine. I think that's maybe too high compared to Vegeta's base. But the thing is, he had to have been high enough to scare the Supreme Kai. Not because the Supreme Kai was weaker, but because I don't think the Supreme Kai had any idea how strong Saiyans were. But Pui Pui had to have been at least a few million at the very bare minimum. Goku and Vegeta base here. I think these are fine. The thing about the base forms people don't understand is, even though all the way up here we see it's really mainly Saiyan Saga to Frieza Saga. Goku goes from 9,000 up at the Saiyan Saga. Then he trains on his way to Namek. Of course, he must have gotten a Zenkai after his fight with Vegeta, right? He got a Zenkai, trained in Namek, then landed on Namek with a power level of 90,000 at his maximum, without Kaioken. Then he got another Zenkai and went up to 3 million, right? That's a Zenkai. That's not training that did that. And as you get stronger, training seems to give you less and less power. So, I don't think Goku's base is listed here in the Saiyan, or in the Cell Saga, but I can do math here to do it. So, Super Saiyan's a multiplier of 50, right? I'm just going to go off this guy's power level because I think it's fair enough to do. Super Saiyan being a 50 times multiplier, if we take 1.15 billion, right? So we get that here in my calculator on my phone. I'm doing it on my phone so I don't have to awkwardly bring it up on my computer. And if you don't believe me, you can do this yourself. So that divided by 50, that gives Goku a 23 million base. Now, that's pretty damn high, I would say. So, the thing is, though, from the Saiyan Saga, I would almost even say Goku might be, again, like I said, he's a little low here. When Goku and Vegeta fought, when Goku fought Majin Vegeta, Vegeta says, "Oh, at least you're stronger than your son was against Cell," when he went Super Saiyan 2. Nothing about when he went Super Saiyan, so that tells me Goku's not stronger than Gohan was against Cell until Goku goes Super Saiyan 2. That means that he couldn't have gotten any more than 2 times as strong. That's what that tells me. So it just shows Saiyan bases aren't as strong as you think they are. I want to do a video where I actually go really in depth into that, but that's in the future. Yakon, 25 million. I think that's fine because Goku could dodge him pretty good. He just went and did like a little Super Saiyan burst type of thing to kill him because of Yakon's little special abilities. Deborah at a 2.6 billion. That's a tricky one because the thing is about Deborah is he's stated to be around the level of Cell, but then when he actually gets fighting and uses magic, Goku says, "Oh, he's way stronger than I thought he was." So this is somewhere in the realm between perfect and super perfect Cell. This is right now, this is 1 million stronger than how he had Super Saiyan 2 Teen Gohan. I could see that. I still think Deborah was a bit stronger than Cell. That's just my opinion based off of the statements. We don't know what kind of Cell Goku was talking about though. People say, "Oh, Goku only felt Goku only fought and felt perfect Cell," but he must have felt the power of super perfect Cell if he told Gohan, you know, "Oh, you're doubting yourself. You have enough power in you to beat him." Yada yada yada. Also, I think that in terms of writing the story, I think that it was meant that it would have been super perfect Cell that he was being compared to. That's just my opinion. I feel like I'm all over the place with this video. Gohan, 2.1 billion, that's fine. You might even be able to put him a bit lower than that, though, because it's either you put him lower or you have to put Super Saiyan 2 Teen Gohan higher. That's one of the two. Fat Boo suppressed, 6.5 billion. That's fine. 430 million. Sure, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Goten base, 7 million. Maybe a little too high. Trunks base. Yeah, good difference in power because Trunks is a little bit stronger. So 500,000 point difference. I think that's fine, but I think they're both a little bit too strong. Just a little bit. But they definitely, remember, they gave 18 a run for her money. So they have to be close enough. Majin Vegeta, 3 million. I think that that's a bit too low. Goku and Vegeta, again, going off of the bases I showed earlier, too low. Even normal Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta had said, I could beat Deborah if I wanted to. Maybe he was bluffing, maybe he wasn't. But these guys, either way, these guys being equal is 100% accurate, at least from what was stated in the manga. Fat Boo full power, 10 billion. I think that is a pretty fair one. It's definitely way more than Vegeta was up here. So Goku Super Saiyan 3 initially is 2 billion stronger than Fat Boo. That's enough to start using as a punching bag. So I think that's fair. Fair there. Pure Boo, which would be the Gray Boo, I guess. I think that's way too high for Gray Boo. I think that Gray Boo was... I mean, it's kind of ambiguous to how Fat Boo's power was when he split. I kind of figured it split somewhere like a 60-40 or 65-35% split in power. I don't think pure Buu was this strong, honestly. I think Super Saiyan 3 Goku still would have been able to beat him. Maybe I'm wrong. Who the hell knows? Super Buu 32 billion. Sure, that's way stronger than Goku is, so I think that's fair. And guys, just so you know, Goku was not stronger than Super Buu. Goku was afraid to fight Super Buu. Go back and read the manga or watch the anime, even though the anime likes to show filler where Goku's as a Super Saiyan 2 trying to fight off Super Buu. But in the manga, and I think he even does say in the anime, even though they still try to fight him, he says when they're inside of Buu after they get absorbed with Vegito, they say we stand literally no chance, even though he's back to normal, we stand no chance without fusion. That's what they says to Vegeta, so both of them together can't beat him. And this is after Vegeta knows Goku has Super Saiyan 3, so. Gotenks base, 82.5 million? I think that's so tricky because I think that's too low. And the reason being is because, and this, I'm assuming this is Gotenks after the training. This isn't the Gotenks initially. This is Gotenks after training when he goes to fight Super Buu. Piccolo says, because this is the first time Piccolo sees Gotenks after he trains. Piccolo says, he's like, his jaw's dropped. He said he's gotten so strong, you shouldn't even have to transform to beat Buu now. And then Gotenks goes and gets the crap beaten out of him by Super Buu. But I think Piccolo is probably comparing him closer to what he figured Fat Buu would have been. So I'd say that it's so crazy, but Gotenks should be close to Fat Buu, at least in his base. That's just what I get from the implications. And then this, obviously these numbers would be a lot higher. And same thing for Ultimate Gohan would be way higher. But if you're comparing him to Goku, that's fine. If you're comparing him to Super Buu, Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks stronger than Super Buu, that's good. Ultimate Gohan a lot stronger than Super Buu, that's all good. Buu-Tanks a pretty damn decent amount stronger than Gohan, looks good. Picollo weaker than Gohan. Goku said when Gotenks defused inside of Buu, he says even Gohan can take you now by himself. He doesn't say even I can take you. He says that in the anime. I think it's only in the Funimation dub. However, it might be in the Japanese as well. Goku says, I could take you myself. Now, he doesn't say it in the manga anywhere, so that's not a real line, guys. It doesn't exist. That's fake. It's made up. Buhan, 75 billion. That's just addition, but that's fine. Vegito base. I still am under the notion that Vegito would not be stronger than Buhan in his base, and at least in terms of what the manga leads you to believe. Because remember, in the manga, Vegito goes immediately to Super Saiyan, so I would think that Vegito in his base would still be a bit weaker, if not more, than Buhan. That's just my opinion. But either way, you know, he's just multiplying person to person. In the Daizenshu guide, it says that the Potara fusion is closer to multiplication. That's like the formula. It's closer to multiplication. It doesn't say it is multiplication, but it says it's closer to it. That's how much stronger it is. But I still wouldn't say it was that strong. And Super Vegito, my calculator can't handle numbers these big. Whatever the hell that number. I'm not even going to read that number. But it's big. Kid Buu, 16 billion. Weaker than Super Buu, stronger than Fat Buu. That's a good number. I like it. 14 billion for Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I think that's fair. I don't know why Goku says I could have beaten him if I didn't, if I didn't give Vegeta a turn. Goku, come on. There's no way you could have beaten Kid Buu with the way you were performing and how much Kid Buu was really outputting in terms of power. So I think this is honestly a good number. Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta is somehow now stronger than Majin Vegeta. Majin Vegeta before was listed as a 3 billion guys on his list. He didn't get a Zenkai. Remember, he died. So I don't think if anything, he was weaker. But that's it, guys. That's the end of the list. Let me know what you thought of this whole list. I don't know how long this video was, but hopefully you guys did enjoy it. It's definitely fun. Go check out the guy's channel down below. He's got videos of tractors. But if you're not interested in tractors, either way, go on his channel and tell them thanks for this list, because this was a fun video. I really like doing these videos, and hopefully you guys enjoyed them. If you have any beef with me about my power levels that I analyzed, then put them in the comments, and that's pretty much all you're gonna get. Actually, you're just gonna put it in the comments. I'm gonna read it, and I'm gonna be like, huh, is this worth responding to? Probably, unless you leave me a letter or like 4 paragraphs. I don't know if I'm gonna read it, but I think this was a very good power level list overall. Share your thoughts, guys. Give me any complaints or advice, or if you think I got something a little incorrect or something, just leave it down below. But other than that, thanks for watching, guys, and of course, I'll catch you later.